Hello and welcome back to the Movie Memo Recaps. Today we are going to recap a 2024 movie titled The 13th Summer. Please be advised that there will be spoilers ahead. The movie opens with a mysterious dead body lying in the forest, but the victim's identity is unknown. We are then introduced to Ben and V, a married couple, who are on their way to their vacation home near the ocean. However, they decide to stop at a convenience store to get some supplies. A store employee watches V from behind as she looks for refreshments. Ben notices the conduct and becomes upset, yet he does not respond angrily. As they pay for their purchases, Ben and V come across a newspaper with a piece about Ben, a police officer who was engaged in a recent shooting of a criminal suspect. This creates some tension between them. They soon get at their summer cottage. Ben gets out of the car to open the gate, and they keep driving till they reach their destination. It turned out they were not alone in this remote location. Ben's close pals, who are also married, live in the house next door. However, his pals have not yet arrived due to prior commitments. Ben and V are astounded to see a young man in their friend's residence. The man introduces himself as Alex, claiming to be a close relative of their pals, and says he was granted permission to stay for a week. Ben, a police officer, is concerned about Alex, suspecting something is wrong. Despite this, V does not retain any misgivings and continues to trust Alex. As night sets, Ben expresses his concerns about Alex over dinner, fearing he is not who he claims to be. V, on the other hand, tries to reassure Ben by warning him not to make quick assumptions and advises him to wait until their friends arrive to confirm Alex's claim. After dinner, Ben and V dance to romantic music while Alex fixes a door lock. This minor fact piques Ben's interest in Alex's true identity. The following morning, Ben gets up early and goes for a jog with his dog. Meanwhile, V wakes up and decides to swim in the ocean while admiring the wonderful environment. V bumps into Alex after her swim, and they have a brief conversation before Ben comes with a frown. As a result, Alex hurriedly excuses himself and departs, sensing the tension. V, fed up with her husband's jealousy, decides to go for another swim. This time, Alex remains nearby, sitting on the beach and drawing as a hobby. When V finishes her swim, she approaches Alex and inquires about his activities. When V discovers that Alex is an artist, she wants him to draw her. At the same time, Ben is becoming increasingly nervous in Alex's presence. Ben, driven by mistrust, sneaks into his friend's residence. At that point, Ben notices a door lock that appears to have been purposely destroyed and then fixed. He also rummages through Alex's backpack upstairs, discovering a camera. On the camera, Ben discovers photographs of his pals, including one of his friend's wife posing with a young man. When Ben discovered Alex and V had returned, he hastily fled his friend's place. He quickly pulled V away for a private talk, informing her about the camera he discovered in Alex's luggage. Ben was convinced the camera belonged to their acquaintance, but it had somehow ended up in Alex's possession. This revelation heightened Ben's suspicions that something was seriously wrong, so he asked V for permission to go outside briefly to look for a signal. Meanwhile, in his room, Alex stared at the art piece he had drawn of V, looking lost in meditation. When Ben eventually arrived at the front gate and obtained a signal, he attempted to contact his friend to inquire as to when they would arrive, but his friend's phone was off. Because of this, Ben left a voicemail in the hopes that his friend would respond. When Ben returned, he was horrified to see V sobbing over their dog, who had died with its neck shattered. Already suspicious, Ben confronted Alex and accused him of killing their pet. Fortunately, V stopped the dispute before it escalated into a full-fledged battle. During the confrontation, Ben mentioned the broken door lock, to which Alex quickly claimed that he had accidentally locked himself out and had to break the door to get back in. When Ben inquired about the camera discovered in his luggage, Alex felt enraged, thinking Ben had snooped through his possessions without his consent. As a result, V immediately took Ben away to prevent more conflict. Ben and V buried their beloved puppy together. Ben suspected that their pals had arrived sooner and that Alex had killed them. However, V continued to defend Alex, believing that Ben was overreacting. The next morning, Ben began packing, intending to go. V encouraged him to stay, and Ben grudgingly accepted. Rather than spending time with her husband, V sought out Alex, who was sitting on the beach. She sat alongside him and apologized for her husband's haughty behavior. Alex unexpectedly flirted with V, encouraging her to get personal with him. V succumbed to temptation and gave in. V did not comprehend how serious her actions were until later. V eventually returned to Ben, keeping the events with Alex a secret to protect their marriage. Ben, upset by V's desire that they stay, opted to pass the time by playing with his licensed gun. As he set up a can for target practice, Alex arrived and grabbed the gun. As a police officer, Ben easily reclaimed the gun from Alex, who claimed he was joking. To scare him away, Ben fired a warning shot. Still intrigued about Alex's true identity, Ben returned to the gate to get a signal and contact a buddy at the police station. Ben used his position as an officer to request that his acquaintance dig up Alex's full identification. After searching the full police database, his friend discovered that no one named Alex fit the description Ben had given. That night, Ben attempted to appear normal by agreeing to V's invitation to sit by the beach. Alex arrived shortly after and asked to join them. Because it was late, V excused herself and went back, leaving Ben and Alex alone. Alex immediately challenged Ben to a sprint to the lighthouse in his carefree, boyish way. Despite his hesitation, Alex persisted, and Ben eventually accepted. In the end, Alex arrived at the lighthouse first. Soon after, Alex, still behaving immature, attempted to plunge Ben in the water. However, Ben, who was already on edge, took this too seriously and, in a fit of rage, punched Alex, knocking him unconscious and making him disappear. Ben worried when he realized he had overreacted to Alex's behavior and assumed Alex had died. Ben ran back, terrified, and told V to leave right away without explaining what had happened. As they drove away, V insisted on knowing what was going on, nearly causing an accident due to her agitation. Finally, Ben admitted that he accidentally murdered Alex in the ocean. Given Ben's previous legal trouble stemming from the shooting incident, V, not wanting to lose her husband, recommended they return and clean up the damage to ensure no one discovered what had occurred. When they returned to the site, Ben and V rushed into Alex's home. To their surprise, they discovered Ben's buddies, Kate and Patrick, also present. The pair apologized for arriving late owing to Patrick's job commitments, but were overjoyed to finally be together for their 13th summer together. When Kate and Patrick inquired as to whether Ben and V had met Alex, V swiftly lied, claiming that they had only recently arrived and knew no one named Alex. Both were taken aback when they discovered Alex was Kate and Patrick's relative, who had been granted permission to stay for a week. Patrick even said that Alex had borrowed his camera for a month, which disproved Ben's previous assumptions that Alex was a violent psychopath. As they were processing this stunning information, tensions increased when the police arrived in response to a complaint of a white automobile that was overspeeding on the highway. As a result, Ben admitted that it was his fault but assured the authorities that nothing severe had occurred. V became frightened after the police left when she noticed her portrait on the refrigerator. She instantly alerted Ben, and they intended to remove the artwork when the time was perfect. Ben also faced another dilemma. Ben had already left a voicemail for Patrick, yet they had told their buddies that they had just arrived. The contradicting details would definitely create suspicions among Patrick and Kate. Ben needed to find a way to get hold of Patrick's phone and delete the incriminating voicemail before anyone discovered it. Ben, unable to sleep inside the home, decided to sleep on the beach with V by his side. Patrick, jogging along the beach, roused them up the next morning. As Patrick spoke, Ben observed something weird floating on the water and suspected it to be Alex's body. He dashed to check, but it turned out to be nothing he had feared, just ocean debris. Later that day, V and Kate spent some time in the kitchen drinking coffee. Kate discovered the strange art piece right as V was about to take it down surreptitiously. She commented on how much the photo resembled V, but V dismissed it as a coincidence. Meanwhile, Ben and Patrick went to a neighboring cafe for coffee. Ben effectively lied that he had left his phone behind and requested to borrow Patrick's cell phone to call his wife. In reality, Ben utilized the opportunity to delete the voicemail he had left earlier. They returned home and took a selfie together. When their party was done, Patrick appeared, clutching Alex's wallet, concerned that something awful had happened to him. Kate, concerned about her relative, immediately alerted the police, who had arrived the previous night. When the police arrived to investigate, they searched Patrick and Kate's home. They also discovered the sketch Alex had drawn. The cop, like Kate, saw how closely the drawing resembled V. Fortunately, they discounted it as a coincidence, and V was not under suspicion. The situation had visibly worried V out at home. She urged Ben to come clean about what had happened, but Ben, not wanting to get into trouble again, begged V to keep everything a secret. V walked to the beach alone to clear her head, where she mused on Alex, whom she had previously considered a kind man. V was horrified on her way back when she saw Kate screaming and telling her that she had just discovered Alex's body in the woods behind her house. This surprising discovery stunned Ben and Patrick. Patrick opted to seek help, while Ben went to the woods to confirm the body. When Ben got to the woods, he discovered a decaying corpse in a white shirt that had definitely been there for days. To his surprise, the body was not Alex's, but someone else's totally. When Ben returned to the house, he instantly questioned Kate whether she was positive the body she discovered was Alex. Kate maintained she was certain it was him. For the time being, Ben and V assumed that the person they had encountered was an imposter who had murdered Alex, assumed his identity, and held malice toward them. With this knowledge, Ben decided to seek Patrick to the police station, leaving V to care for Kate. Not only that, but Ben told V to get his gun from the drawer in their house, just in case. When Ben arrived at the gate, he noticed Patrick's car parked there, signaling he had not departed. Ben discovered Patrick dead, shot in the head, while doing his investigation. At the same moment, V went to get the gun but discovered it was missing from the drawer. During this period, Alex's imposter, Jeremy, unexpectedly resurfaced alive. He admitted that he had escaped after Ben had knocked him out during the swim. At that point, Jeremy recommended they flee together and leave Ben behind. Shortly, Kate appeared from behind, but Jeremy shot her. Ben then ambushed Jeremy from behind and wrestled the gun from him. Jeremy mocked Ben, expecting that his past trauma would prevent him from shooting. As Jeremy continued to provoke Ben, Ben unexpectedly pulled the trigger, murdering him on the spot, just as Kate died from the bullet. Later, Ben was imprisoned for shooting Jeremy, leaving V as the only one to return the next summer. She ultimately published The 13th Summer, which was her narrative of everything that had happened. Thanks for watching. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe for more of these recaps. Until next time, have a nice day.